We welcome you into Week 7 of the Ken Sparks Show. I'm the voice of the Eagles Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks as Carson-Newman picks up a big 55-35 rivalry victory on the road in Greenville over the Tusculum Pioneers. Ken, congratulations are in order for you. We'll go ahead and get this out of the way at the top of the show. Win 323 for your career. You tie Bear Bryant for 5th on the all-time wins list. I know the honor personally doesn't mean a lot for you, but what does tying Bear Bryant mean for this program?
Well, we talked after the ball game to our team and our coaches that it's really about them. I didn't play any, but they played their hearts out, and we had to overcome some probably the worst events that we've had all year in one quarter, and but to see how our guys responded back, I thought they were the second half of that football team. I thought we were a team with championship heart, and that's what I told them after the ball game was that, you know, this is their victory, and had a chance to text or call some coaches because, you know, after the ball game, so many other people wanted to talk to me, so I get a chance to talk to the coaches and congratulate them on unbelievable coaching job yesterday of keeping things at least on the foundation where we could keep building and keep growing, and I think that's what happened yesterday, and it was an unbelievable day, and so the congratulations go to them, and if there's going to be any praise given to me, because I've had a whistle around my neck for 35 years, and it ought to be praise that goes to, I'll receive it on behalf of those kids and all of them that I've coached for 35 years and the coaches have coached, but I'll especially receive it for the giver of all good gifts, and that's my Lord and my Savior Jesus, and so you know, and that's good enough. That's good enough. Bizarre game. You kind of alluded to it. First quarter, pretty solid. Second half, unbelievable performance. Second quarter, Tusculum sets a school record, 35 points, and gets 75% of their total offense for the day. Anything you can peg the difference between those two segments? Well, it was a total team breakdown, really, because we fumbled and gave them the ball. We got stopped on 4th and 1, which we don't like to do, which means that was 2 possessions that the offense could kept alive and gave us points, because we were up 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And then we give up a kickoff return for 6, and then we gave up some really big plays defensively that almost total breakdowns. And so, you know, it was a total team breakdown the second quarter. And I don't know, but I tell you what, it showed you a little bit about the character of our kids and the way they came back the second half. We'll get into that when we get back from this break on the Ken Sparks Show. Welcome back on the Ken Sparks Show as the Eagles pick up a 55-35 road victory over arch rival Tusculum in the second oldest rivalry in the state of Tennessee. I'm the voice of the Eagles Adam Cavalier alongside head coach Ken Sparks. Ken, start the game pretty well, forced Tusculum off the field with a punt, and then a nice long sustained drive, 13 minutes to chew up 6 minutes of clock, all on the ground until the touchdown pass and a nice little over-the-shoulder catch by James Phillips, the tight end, to the left side of the end zone. How'd that set up for you? Well, that was a play-action pass off of a play that we sometimes run on goal line or short yardage, and we hadn't shown it this year at all. Mm-hmm. And so, and it was 4th and 5 or 6, I believe, and so it was a pretty good time to call it. I thought it was a great call by our offensive coaches, and it was well executed, and glad to see James make the catch, and he deserves to make some catches, and we haven't thrown it to him much, and so we asked him to go in there and get muddy and
block and get his face dirty and all that. But every once in a while, you know, he's an athlete. He can catch football.
Finally, you can celebrate a tight end doing something in a win. One of those stats that doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but you lost 3 straight games when you completed a pass to a tight end. Finally, you throw a pass to the tight end and it happens in a win.
Okay, I'm glad to know that. And so from now on, we're freed up to throw a pass to the tight end because we might still win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all there is to it.
All right.
Jamal Jones, solid little first half too. Scores a couple touchdowns. First multi-touchdown day in his career. What toughness did he exude?
Well, unbelievable. I mean, everybody that played in that mud where you're trying to get traction and, you know, and the extra weight and the extra burden, especially when you're playing as an offensive or defensive lineman or a running back. For Jamal and Darren Baker and of course our horse who carried it 30 times. You know, they can't maneuver as well, and so they're taking shots that they wouldn't normally take because they would cause them to be glancing shots. And so it was the muddy field add another dimension to it.
And yet still a slew of highlights. We take a look at the first half highlights here on the Ken Sparks Show.
Right, a wide out to the right side of the line. That's Eubanks. Thomas takes the snap, fakes the dive, throws a back shoulder play to the tight end Phillips. He hauls it in. Touchdown! Carson-Newman. James Phillips, his second catch of the season, is a score along the left side of the end zone, and the Eagles are up 6-0 on the 5-yard toss to James Phillips. What an impressive throw with the touch from DeAndre Thomas to put it over his right shoulder and out of reach of the Pioneers' Ira Macon to the right of Pendergrass in the gun. Eagles bring blitz. It's an overthrown ball that's intercepted by Sean Rawson at the 10. His last pick on this field 2 years ago. Sean Rawson forces the 10th Tusculum turnover of the season by jumping in front of Dion Hicks along the numbers on the right side of the field down at the 10. Carson-Newman football after Rawson's INT. 12 to play second quarter. Thomas takes the snap on 1st and 10. Throws over the middle of the field to Anthony Eubanks. Has it at the 50. Keeps his feet. 30, 25, 20. Can he beat his man to the end zone? Yes! Touchdown! Carson-Newman! Anthony Eubanks gets his first touchdown of the season on a 71-yard scoot and score on the play fake over the middle of the field. What a beautiful play call for Mike Turner and company on the offensive staff. Eagles up 12-7 with 11:45 left in the second quarter.
That's just a great recognition by the Eagle offensive coaching staff, understanding that they have run the ball so much in this contest. 21 rushing attempts, just one pass, and that came on the goal line. They get the safeties coming forward. Eubanks just streaks in the middle of the field for a touchdown.
Thomas under center, split backs, takes the snap, gives to Jones. Jones straight ahead, scoots 4-6, touchdown, Carson-Newman. Jamal Jones bursts through the line on the left side and 9 yards later finds the end zone, touchdown. Carson-Newman, 19-14. The Eagles on top with 7:28 left in the second quarter. Backs from the right hash. Phillips the tight end to the left of the line, a wide out each direction. Thomas takes the snap. It's a trap left side for Jamal Jones. Jones bursts over the left guard and into the end zone. Touchdown! Carson-Newman. Jamal Jones, his first multi-touchdown day of his career. And the Eagles are ahead by 2 scores, 26-14, with 5:42 left in the second quarter.
Carson-Newman trails at the break to the Tusculum Pioneers, 35-27. Obviously, for the frustrations from the second quarter and a school record 35 points for the Pioneers. What was said in the locker room to correct that, especially looking ahead to the second half and the dominance that your defense had?
Well, we just talked about being who we're supposed to be. We made some adjustments defensively, especially, and the thing that I said to them, is let's take the frustration and make it faith this second half. And so I think I don't think it was anybody. I think that when I looked in eyeballs, I could see determination. I couldn't see frustration, except I know a handful of our, great competitors were really disgusted with what had happened in the second quarter. And especially when it comes over the PA system at Tusculum had just set a school record with the total number of points scored in one quarter in the history of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And but we, again, it's a 60-minute game, and you have to play every minute of it. And I think our guys played 30 minutes, second half, pretty doggone good.
You talk about frustration into faith. Pretty dangerous to use those F words.
Yeah.
But what's your intent with a statement like that in the locker room?
Well, the most fun I had all day, no, it wasn't the most fun. But something I really enjoyed was on the broadcast after the game when I said to you that I used F words in the locker room, and you went into semi-shock. But it was, of course, frustration for faithfulness. And but
you didn't realize my eyes could get that big.
I did not. I was pretty impressed with how I got you almost in a semi-coma.
You did. you could have said anything after that, and I probably wouldn't have heard it. Second half belongs to Andy Hibbett, and we'll talk about that and the Carson-Newman defense when we get back from break on the Ken Sparks Show. Back on the Ken Sparks Show as the Eagles pick up a 55-35 victory over the Tusculum Pioneers. The second half, ultimately the story in the game. Ken Sparks, you hold Tusculum 14 yards on 22 plays. Andy Hibbett starts to assert his dominance, 221 yards on 30 carries for arguably a guy who may be asserting himself into the Harlan Hill Trophy discussion with more than 900 yards on the season. What did Hibbett do to really cement the game with those 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns?
Well, I think the main thing, we had an offensive line, those old hogs up there rooting around in the mud that started knocking some holes in that thing, and we had some really good downfield blocking, and we had some people making plays that needed to make plays, and I don't know how many plays we ran the second half, but I know we ended up with 91 plays, and I would say in the second half it probably was 55, 60 of them. Mm-hmm. And I know time of possession was we were close to 20 minutes out of the 30 minutes in the second half of possession, and so that was critical. And we just had a bunch of gladiators for the second half that got after it. And Andy, I think he took some punishment and just kept on ticking, because it wasn't one of those games. It was one of those games.
Yeah.
And so the running backs were having to, but all 3 running backs that played really showed a lot of character and a lot of heart.
It was really a methodical comeback. It wasn't, here's a 75-yard dive that you burst for a touchdown. You had a 17-play drive to tie the game with a 2-point conversion, and then a 15-play drive to take the lead. How did that set up?
Well, it was tremendous play calling by our offensive coach, especially Coach Turner. We were starting to, they were bouncing around doing some different things, and we were starting to find some matchups that we liked and some softness in some places that we liked, and so it wasn't easy. If it takes you 17 plays to score a touchdown, that means that you got a lot of 3 and 4 yard plays. Mm-hmm. And same thing with the 15 play. In fact, both of those, I think, were less than 70 yards. Yeah. And when you get to thinking about 17 plays and 70 yards, that's not a whole lot per rush. And of course, we had a couple of big third downs in there where we completed a third down and long yardage one time because we got a 15-yard penalty. And so it was just, again, a group of guys that said we're going to get it done.
We take a look at the second half highlights, highlighted by a bevy of defensive highlights here on the Ken Sparks Show.
So 3rd down, 7 to go from the Pioneers' 32. Pendergrass takes the shotgun snap. Blitz comes. Pressure from the backside, and he's sacked by Javaris Neal. Eagles needed that stop in the worst way, and the junior out of Columbia, Tennessee, finally smells blood in the water to get into the backfield. Grass in the gun. Kane shows blitz, backs off, 3-man front for the Eagles. Low snap, Pendergrass gets it. Rolls right, pressure coming. Pendergrass swallowed up in the backfield. Neal, Alderman, rip him down for a sack back to the 33. The Sharks find their prey. -7 on the play. Big time stop for the Eagle D. Thomas takes the snap. Gives to Hibbett on a trap left side. Hibbett, clear sailing. Touchdown. Carson-Newman. Andy Hibbett, untouched around the left tackle. Gets into the end zone from 13 yards out. His 30th career touchdown. Puts the Eagles in front, 41-35, with 6:43 left in the fourth quarter. Second quarter for the Pioneers. Thomas takes the snap. They give it to Hibbett on the dive. Hibbett racing between the hashes, moving left, 10, 5, sayonara, touchdown, Carson-Newman. Andy Hibbett slaps some icing on the cake and puts the Eagles up 48-35 with 3:40 left in the fourth quarter. Hibbett finds the end zone from 41 yards out.
Final score, 55-35. The Eagles take it over the Tusculum Pioneers. When we get back on the Ken Sparks Show, Michael Watrang shines our Eagles spotlight on starting quarterback DeAndre Thomas. That's after this. Back on the Ken Sparks Show, each week we shine our Eagles spotlight on one Carson-Newman football player, and this week Michael Watrang puts it on DeAndre Thomas.
In 2013, DeAndre Thomas was a sophomore quarterback still trying to figure out his role in the Eagle offense. Fast forward 1 year, and you can make the argument that the Milledgeville, Georgia native is one of the best dual threat signal callers in the country.
The biggest difference from this year and last year, I think I'm being more consistent in what I'm asked to do, and just out on the field, just talking to the guys and being a great leader and knowing that they feed off me, so I try to go out there with positive energy, positive vibes, and hopefully they can feed off that.
One person that understands the CN quarterback role more than most is second-year quarterback coach Alex Good, who was a Harlan Hill finalist given to the Division II National Player of the Year in 2009.
Biggest thing that I see is just his maturity as far as to handle tough situations that may come up, whether it be in the game or in practice. You see him have a better leadership role as far as being a quarterback of this team. With the quarterback position, you're pretty much already into that leadership role, and you just got to make it your own, and you got to own it. And I think he's doing a better job of that, of really owning it and making it his and doing a great job at that.
Thomas's leadership has been seen by all of the Eagles, especially within his own position group. Backup quarterback Darvier DeBose said that Thomas has taught him the necessity to be consistent and take the extra time and effort in the film room to know the Eagle offense and the opponent inside and out.
When I came as a freshman, DeAndre he was first in everything, every drill, everything. He always was first one to practice. And I just looked up to him. I want to be like him, like leading the team and everything.
The junior quarterback has maintained his lead-by-example style with extra hours in the film room that has aided Thomas's knowledge of the offense.
It's a lot different. I'm expected to be in the film a little more than I was last year, so I try to, on my free time, to come down around Monday, Wednesday, around 10 o'clock with the offensive coach, and sometimes Coach Good will watch film and he'll just go over what we're looking forward to this game versus last year. I didn't do much of that, but now I'm able to have time and be more focused and put more into it.
The Carson-Newman football team can go as far as its quarterback takes them. Good sees room for improvement for Thomas, but knows that he is up to the challenge.
Executing offense, whether it be reading the option every play or getting the ball to the right receiver as far as pass reads. Even from last year, he's come a long way as far as his maturity as a player, out there on the field. And the good thing about that is he do have another year, another opportunity to continue to grow. And And I think he accept that challenge just like he does everything else and make the most of it.
When asked where he can get better, Thomas focused on his academics, where he's a member of the Dean's List, and his goal to become a better person. It's that work ethic and altruism that will ensure that DeAndre Thomas sees his name etched in stone among the Division II elite. For the Ken Sparks Show, I'm Michael Watrang.
Thank you very much, Michael Watrang. And Ken, DeAndre Thomas, a player who just keeps on improving, it seems like.
Yeah, DeAndre's a lot of fun to coach. He's still got a lot of improvement to do, but he's developed himself so much as a leader. And the quarterback in our offense has got to be a leader. And he has a knack of making plays. And a lot of times it's right when we need somebody to make a play. And so we're very fortunate to have DeAndre. He makes us a better football team.
Turn our attention to homecoming now. North Greenville comes in here for a 3 o'clock kickoff on October 25th. What's the overall homecoming experience mean to Carson-Newman?
Well, I think, the main thing is a lot of people show up that we haven't seen in a while, and a lot of ex-players that are going to be excited about being to a ball game that they probably haven't been to in a year, and or some of them 4 or 5 years. And so it's just it's exactly what it says. It's a homecoming. It's a homecoming to get a lot of people back home, and and so we have a good time with it, and it's a lot of fun for our guys, and then it can be a distractor if we're not careful, because people are here for a different reason than we're here to play, and so we have to make sure we keep that distinction.
Anything stand out to you about the Crusaders of North Greenville?
Well, they're dangerous, very, very dangerous. They're scoring a lot of points. They have taken people to the wire on even a couple of games that they've lost. And got a very capable quarterback and receivers, and here we go again. It's another wrinkle as far as it challenged our defense and challenged our offense.
Ken, pleasure as always. Congrats on the win, and thanks for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. This has been the Ken Sparks Show. Thanks for watching.